It's so much better than it was buying weed in college, where that guy I used to buy from at one point who like insisted he be called Kush. I've mentioned him before. And it was like, come on, man. And he would take that cellophane around cigarette packs, put like an eighth or a half eighth in there, and then melt it together with a lighter. So now you get that good plasticky smell on your weed. And like to him, he thought he was fucking Henry Ford every time he would hand one of these to you. And I'd always want to be like
Heisenberg
or Kush. Can you just use a regular sandwich bag, please? This is absurd.
Same thing. My guy was just too broke. Like he was always so broke, and he'd be melting those bags together for me, and I could smell that smell. It's the weed mixed with the melted plastic smell.
Yeah,
that was that guy that had like the worst life ever, where like his wife cheated on him while he was long haul truck driving, and he had been maimed in 2 different like workman's accidents. Oh, one of them like he was like driving rebar with a hammer, and a chunk of metal came off the hammer and went into his chest.
Oh no!
So deeply, the hospital thought it was a bullet wound. And it like caused some serious internal damage, and they had to do surgery to remove this hardened chunk of steel that went into his chest. And then like while he was recovering from that and he lost that job obviously. And then while he was recovering from that, he was like, things have been going poorly. I'm gonna buy myself a little 4-wheeler. And so he like goes to some guy at his house who's selling it, and it's like evening, so he can't see that the cover is off the chain. And he's out there, and he's like letting his other hand go slack by his side. And it got sucked into the chain, and it ate off the tips of like 3 of his fingers. He like lost the tip of one finger and most of another finger, and then almost all of another finger, like kind of went diagonally across like these 3 fingers. And so now he's like chest wound, hand mangled, manual labor guy. Oh, and then he was like roofing, and the guy who was like pushing the sheet metal up to him, it was like a metal roofing job, like shoved it. And it like slit his wrist and cut all the tendons in his other hand. So it's, your hand's kind of like a puppet show. You're just pulling strings here, operating this thing. And all of a sudden his hand like does this now. And that's all he's got.
They couldn't fix it.
Damn.
Like they mostly fixed it, but it was this, he was healing from it while he was selling. He's telling me all this as he melts my plastic bag. he's like explaining to me how he became a basement dwelling like weed dealer. And it's like these 3 accidents. And he's like, but I got to support that woman and that little kid up there. So now I got my little farm down here. I got purple kush from Cali. I got this indica I got in from Mexico. And this is some Canadian. He's got these plants growing, down in his basement and stuff. The whole place smells so dank. Just this wet, moist weed smell. Wife cheated on him, lost the house. Her dad owns the house. So he's kicked out. Like, I think they took his truck from him eventually. He was a truck driver. He lost that. Like,
damn,
it was rough. It was a real sad tale.
What a terrible series of events.
Yeah.
So he has no good hands, and he's a blue collar worker with his hands.
Yes, exactly.
That kind of, you're up a creek without a paddle at that point.
I feel like a lot of this is like the medical system in America just doesn't do its job very well if you don't have money. Like, I bet Colin's axe injury was every bit as bad as that dude's hands injury, and Colin's foot's fine.
Yeah. Well, I think the hand ended up being fine with the tendons, but it was a long recovery where like he couldn't use the hand. Like they immobilized the fingers. And so he had this like, he had it all like wrapped up, and there was like metal on it, and it was all braced, and he couldn't use his left hand. And then the other hand was mangled from the 4-wheeler. So he's down there like clipping weed plants with his 2 good fingers,
Poor guy. Damn.
It was rough. His wife was always a little flirty when I'd come over too. I was like,
Jesus Christ.
I came over one time and he wasn't home, and she's just like, he's not here, but I guess we could work.
You walk in there, Mr. Two Hands.
Walk there with your 2 good hands.
The guy who tells you not to worry about.
Just flexing Mr. 10 Finger.
They're cracking his knuckles, showing off.
Reminds me, have you ever seen the movie The Ringer with Johnny Knoxville, where he pretends to be retarded?
I watched it in theaters, 2005.
Where his gardener, Stavi, the Hispanic guy, reaches under the lawnmower and loses all 3 of the middle fingers. And so then he's like, "It is not all bad, Mr. Dave, because now I can pluck so gently the flower."
Pinky and thumb.
Yeah, it makes me think of that.
See, that movie's awesome because all of the so based like he said, he joins the Special Olympics pretending like he's retarded. But it's like that bit from the South Park episode where Cartman does the same thing. He gets there and realizes like these guys are fine. And they've got all these guys with Down syndrome and developmental disorders who are acting in the roles. They don't have like some actor pretend. And it's like, these guys are awesome. That was the first time I saw Down syndrome people represented in like a cool way where you actually got to, because I didn't know anybody with Down syndrome growing up. I mean, there was probably a kid or two at school, but I never spoken to them or like seen what they were about. But they all seem so. These are the really smart ones in that movie. That's a good movie.
That's a hilarious movie.
Yeah, he gets there and that dude can outrun him like ×5. He's like, oh, I guess that I thought just because they're stupid that they don't have physical prowess here.
No, but then Jimmy destroys him. Remember that? Jimmy,
yes, I do.
Yeah, the runner.
I had one with the 8 and 2 thumbs. How many fingers do I have? 10. No, 8 and 2 thumbs. He just dies laughing about it.
You see,
Trump mule it.
Signed a thing about pot recently. Everyone misunderstands it, but it's.
I did.
Classification.
They pull our legs with that weed stuff every 4 years, and it
This
never.
is another one. Yeah. So what he did is it's not legal federally, but there's some sort of reclassification for pot at the state level, which sounds good, but it's not, because it only applies to pot products that have been FDA approved and prescribed medically. And it's like, oh, so that's like not the thing, like,
right.
I don't even know where I'd go to get a medically prescribed pot like product right now. It's
the
everyone's on
reputation
Delta
is
8.
always that it's like a quack doctor you go to who's just like, are you having trouble sleeping? Here you go. Because I know at the dispensaries here, like they do give you better deals. Like the exact same thing is cheaper if you have a medical card compared to recreation. And so I don't know how expensive it is. Maybe it is worth it.
This is interesting. In North Carolina, so I didn't know if North Carolina had dispensaries like medical, but they do exclusively on tribal land. So if you go to the Great Smoky Cannabis Company that's operated by the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, they're making out like bandits, by the way. They also own Harris Cherokee Casino.
Good for them.
That's pretty awesome.
I wonder if they ship it.
Definitely not.
I wouldn't think so.
Well,
it's illegal to take the cannabis products purchased at the dispensary into the surrounding North Carolina counties, as it remains illegal in the state.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, weed's illegal in your state. All of it is.
Yeah, and I think North Carolina, the federal government passed something that made it like extra illegal, and it hasn't kicked in yet. Like Delta 8's going away. Delta
8's going away nationwide.
Delta 8's gone.
Is that for real happening?
Yes.
Because this is like the third false start we've heard with like the Delta 8s, the THCPs, THC.
It's completely gone in my city. None anywhere.
Yeah, you're in North Carolina too, right?
No, I'm in Mississippi. And it is gone. We have medical here, by the way. I can't fucking believe it. I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime. We have medical, but they cracked down on Delta 8, probably so people can get that medical marijuana weed money, if I had to guess.
Are all three of the states you guys live in the hard and fast, like red on the map, fully illegal?
We have medical marijuana that's for like the most extreme cases, like those kids who have seizures, need that that take some sort of weird oil. And then I think only recently have they made it so that even those kids can even acquire it, because they made like marijuana oil legal for those people, but then there wasn't a mechanism for them to obtain it legally. Like there wasn't a dispensary system and a pipeline set up, and getting that going was greatly delayed, I think. But basically the answer is no. There's no medical marijuana here, nothing of the sort. The closest thing is Florida. They have medical.
Right. We've got full medical here in Mississippi for like a wide range of issues like anxiety and stuff that, it might not even necessarily help every person for. So it's pretty easy to get medically. The card is like $200. And then we have dispensaries. And if I'm not mistaken, like 20 grams and less is now decriminalized. Like you get a ticket for it, I think.
That's good.
Yeah, a lot of places.
That's how Atlanta is. Like Atlanta proper, the city, I think it's decriminalized there and it's a ticket. Like if Atlanta Police Department catches you, I think it's a ticket, or they'll even just like throw your shit away if it's a little bit. But the problem is, like, what if, like, I don't know, a sheriff's deputy or a state patrol agent or somebody like that catches you? Then you're in that whole rigmarole again.
Yeah.
And even legalizing it isn't always the best thing because you can get hoodwinked like Illinois did, where Illinois fully legalized it, but it came along with a retarded amount of fees, everything. And so the illegal weed market in Illinois is still booming because they charge, like, they're our neighbors in Missouri, but they, like, it's the same amount here is quite literally double, if not more there.
It's really
like they rake you over the coals in Illinois. It's crazy. And
it's so saturated here that even when I buy like street weed, which is very rare, I'm getting packets that came from a dispensary one way or another. You know, like I don't get Ziploc baggies anymore in this day and age. I get vacuum sealed 3.5G purple kush or whatever, you know, and it comes already sealed and legit and weighed up and everything.